Welcome back, and we're gonna try. I'm sorry if you hear anything downstairs. Neighbors are fighting. Anyway, so what we're trying to do here is we need to get these locked in. So those seem to be fine. I think that's right. This is right too, I believe. I also need to find some more things to look up. Let's see. Immediately denied. This was Roottree. Doesn't focus much on the details, accusations regarding his mother with Guy Hudson. Instead, he comes across as exhausted at the events that have been going on behind the scenes, as well as the characters, those he feels attacked his family. That although most of the book is based in fact, it left out anything that wouldn't fit the agenda. Points out Sam's daughter still earns a generous salary for overseeing the farm division of Roottree. No salary. Miracle also says that the story about his father shunning EC was one-sided, leaving out Edward Clancy's blame in the whole thing. Elias gave him a simple ultimatum: stop sitting or be disowned. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Miracle says it was EC's choice. Yeah. Is the oldest living Roottree. It's true that he claims him. Yeah, he probably did make it out of internet or spite since Sam was born before him. Okay, what's the other things we need to look at? Fire search. Second high profile case after Felix. Potential Roottree being added. Not self-inflicted. Newstime article. Sam Manson publicly supported Animom due to some parts of the story she found particularly incredible. Sam's endorsement. This included her job and the time period. After fumbling 5-pence story so publicly, the Rootrees were made particularly prove that Animon's daughter did not relate to the Rootrees. Okay, so I guess we should look for Animom in the periodical. News time. Search. Printing. JDO PDF. Anonymous JDO Roottree. Any mention of the phrase Animom. Initial cover article has been added to your evidence. It was determined through DNA tests that Animom's daughter was not a Roottree. This article, which did refer to her daughter as Jane Jo Roottree, did not coin the phrase Animom. Came before that, all right, around the first time of the TV interview. This is a summary. The anonymous woman appeared on the cover of Newstime shortly after 5-pence was confirmed to be a member. Unlike 5-pence, she wished to remain anonymous, and both photos were obscured. The announcement woman claimed to have an affair with Guy Hudson while she was working as his secretary. She and another woman were hired at the same time during a transition period. While many of the secretaries that had worked under Zach Morton were already gone, she says that she and another woman were both underqualified, as neither had typewriter experience. According to other staff members interviewed, Guy had his own requirements for hiring women. Yeah, of course. Guy liked to throw lavish parties, and the longer he was present, the more excuses he found. She claimed she slept with him at one of these after parties. She confronted Guy when she found out she was pregnant. He didn't seem fazed. They came to an arrangement. He paid her a significant amount of hush money on a recurring basis under the table. She used it to move away and start a new life with her daughter. When Guy died, the money stopped coming, and she assumed things had run their course. She went back to work at the department store and hoped that anybody would never look too closely at how she paid for her house. While she never worked at the Roottree Company at the same time as Fivepence mother, Joanna, their stories seemed eerily similar, and she knew Joanna was telling the truth right away. Fact-check the timeline of both women and confirm the existence of the infamous after-parties Fivepence caused. No strengthen. Okay. So wait, hold on. Wasn't there... Ooh. Okay. So I'm wondering if the child they tested was not the one that she gave birth to that was Guy's, but maybe another one of her kids was? So maybe she's like this one? Okay, so it says here is 7. Okay. There's none in here. None in there. There's 1 here. Regarding his mother. Sam's family was not destitute and that his son chose to take a job with no salary. Miracle says the story of EC shunning him. Client's trust. 6 pieces. Am I supposed to look up the 6 pieces? Copy. Oh, no, wait, that's the other name. Ah, put them all together. Yay, printing. John Miller, she helped verify her story so much of the book's core contents you are familiar with. Has not been updated for the last page. Okay. Periodicals. Okay, so what do we got here? There's 5. Most irrelevant rumors coincide with the reign of Guy Hudson, who took over as precedent, 1978. Sam was very much not a fan of Guy, and according to Six Pieces, it was an open secret within the family that Guy was very much not a fan of remaining faithful to his wife, Patricia. Many of their hires at the time were young single women, and Guy often spent lavish amounts of money on private parties. Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor that her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. A common Italian restaurant. So let's look up Elizabeth Antonelli. Okay, so that's a name we gotta keep in our back pocket. Guy made positive contribution to the company. I was known for spending more time and money factories in Brazil. Section where Sam speculates that Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was always much kinder to Sam than Elias was, and was the first to invite Sam to family events. Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Sam also says her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" Overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth. A different Elizabeth than the supervisor for the farm, but she never met her. Ooh. So, it looks like the older out of these. Which one is the oldest? 1949, 1921, and then that's the new one. So the 21, we believe, was Elias Sr. Elias Roottree. President, the first one. Elizabeth is her first name, but we don't know her last name. May have had children. Don't know about those. And Guy had several. So if we can try to get... There's 5 of them in here. 1978. By Patricia. 1984. One of Sam's farm supervisors named Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretary. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. So Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but worked as one of Guy's secretaries. Let's look through this one. Fabulous stories by Hudson were not exaggerations. Good Roottrees. Does not appear on your updated tree. And the ones verified in your work. And Mom's affair does not appear up on your Roottree. Okay, so even though she might have had affair, she's not there. Okay. There's like several pictures. How am I supposed to... Butler County Police. What am I supposed to look? Fancy flavors? Oh, it just comes up with that. I know some of this I've already looked up, but... I don't know what to look for. Because I got those three. And that's the update. They don't give you very much to look at. Unless there's something else I'm missing. There's not anything in there.
Attention, attention, Rootrees. This is 5 Piece coming at you from the real world. You know, the place you ain't ever lived in.
You say money is the root of all your problems. Root of all your
Man,
problems.
y'all are hypocrites, sitting back in your massive estates, built from the cash that your ancestors gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it, based on your family's creations. Yo,
But look at here, sonny, don't you come for our money, or you might burn bright in hellfire someday, like that Madsen chick.
and her two dads. My pappy's cleansing trust should keep you away. Yo, it's disturbing, catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt, but blurts out these claims that somehow we're sinners, cause we didn't earn it. When all of your worth it came free with your name, you expect me to treat your lectures on greed as some expert creed from he without blame. How about instead, I turn my other cheeks and spread them. When you get
Under
me a
heavy
kiss,
suit.
you'll know just
Am
where to
her
aim.
chicken, her
You
granddaughter,
say
grandchildren, she held and covered under the trust, according to the wording revealed during the internal family conflict between Ron and Robbie. It seems that those who wrote the trust purposely deceived the rest of the family about the exact details of how it worked in an attempt to keep Sam and her father, his own twin brother, spared of poverty because the rest of the family had made money. Sam's book revealed this to the public and did not go over well. Grouping legal enterprises. The name of the law firm that has been hired by the Roottree Company. The company is named after a titular Ruby Spratt, which was the company before the Cherra. The Scour 6 pieces of revelations recently news to lead to a high profit is Cicely Sanchez. Torture of Changed Man, released in 1978, a follow-up foreign gospel, did not perform well. Current Satellite author Cicely is known for nonfiction. Appeared in a magazine called Picochi with an article about a book she had commissioned to write for Guy Hudson. Focusing on a talking fish toy, Picochi had an article about a canceled book by the book subject was Guy Hudson. The issue was said to contain pictures that Cicely did not have the rights to publish. Because of the pictures, the issue was pulled from store shelves. Subject of some conspiracies, the instant collector's item, do this recall, the version found in these archives is incomplete. Pico magazine that contained the article about Cicely Sanchez. Story concerned an unreleased book she had written about Guy Hudson. Seems to have used photos of Guy that Cicely did not own the rights to. Red Bull. One point, read an article on Cicely Sanchez. Issue, the Big Sass Sea Bass issue was pulled from shelves. Especially amongst conspiracy theorists attempting to figure out what the Roottree Company was hiding. Let's look up her again. See if we can look up her other books. Who woke up after being saved from drowning in his backyard pool and became an entirely different person. You won't be able to put it down without wondering what if that were me. Okay. What was her other foreign gospel? Best to look up all this information. Out of print. Catholic Church who claims he was told by God that he should travel to Thailand and begin to preach. He returned to the United States after just over 2 years, claiming to have succeeded. Okay. Ruby Legal. Ruby Spratt. Let's look her up. Relatively elusive, the most complete source of information you can find is before her time. Website for a magazine owned by a major airline. She was subject of one of the articles from a recurring series about modern day success stories. Ruby grew up in foster care but excelled at school and earned a scholarship to study at Mid-Eastern University. There she graduated at the top of her legal class and was quick to hire as a lawyer from a prominent firm. Corporate involved cases, she was part of one. Another was to help a local gas station chain in our home of Portland to roll out a promotion that allowed gas station customers to ability to bet on gas prices. Company services were crossed between a traditional lawyer and a PR manager. Midway between Maine and Miami, their mascots were the Specters, not known for sports, Ivy League schools, called the newspaper. The college has embraced this, calling their newspaper the Herald. Covering Herda and Herald. The periodical. Let's look up Ruby. Since we know Ruby was from there. Yay! Ruby Spratt graduated top of the class from Mid-Eastern's. Her valedictorian speech was somewhat controversial at the time. It was quite serious and heavy focused on the wealth inequality. The Times said Ruby, unsatisfied by simply earning her place at Mid-Eastern with a full scholarship, went on to earn a captive audience. Perfect GPA. Passionate attempt to use her soapbox to prioritize her fellow students. But unfortunately, judging by the silence, they remained unconverted. Was it another airline? Rootrees from the webs. You can find from before her time with the Rootrees. It's from a website for a magazine owned by a major airline. Trying to figure out what else I should look up. Yay! Was Ruby Spratt were featured in Business Watch after the company took over the keepers of the client's trust. There's an article that produced interviews both Clark and Ruby. Seems that Ruby actually approached the Rootrees sometime in late March after the Roottree Rift. As well, before an accomplished but relatively low-profile lawyer, she offered to work for very little money so long as she could be a public face to build her reputation. After looking over the Clancy trust more carefully than anyone had in years, Ruby came to the conclusion that Clancy Edward Rootree's implementation was not legally sound, and that there would be constant legal challenges without some modifications. The family decided to put her in charge of the trust. Her first move, sort of a trial run, permanently hired, was to help them draft a public statement accepting Sam into the family and declaring that they begin to address. This went on quite well, and they officially hired her in April. Is now in charge of many financial aspects of the company, including verifying any claims of the trust. Okay. Lawsuit between Ruby Spratt and Picote magazine surrounding Cecily Sanchez. They said that Cecily didn't have the rights to distribute photos of Guy. This caused an issue to sell faster than the other magazine's history. Only for a day, even people with their other Rootrees just ignored the story. Okay. What was it? What was the name of the thing? Yes. Sits in a fake mountain on your wall. Press a button. Nation Paradigm cover of Picote magazine. In the same issue's Roottree related article. The issue has become a collector's item and ripe for conspiracy theories about the Rootrees that we're trying to keep from people. Thomas Overwood, conspiracy page about the Rootrees. 8 months later, the page still exists and it's thriving. The visitor counter has reached 7 digits. Many older articles have been replaced, and it seems that recent uprising in the Roottree news has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events. Theories involve Roottree deaths being fake. Statistically, when you have this many high-profile people who have died in the family, the odds are just one of them faked their deaths. This newfound focus on the death faking seems to coincide with the post mentioning he's begun believing that the guy's not dead theory. My eyes have been opened. All of this is beginning to make too much sense. Gwen Rootree's death was faked. One of this post details believe that Ron Roottree is still in charge, and that Clark is only there to throw people off. Apparently, this allowed Ron to travel to France to develop their new candy recipe in secret. He can't possibly be a Roottree. One of his first album songs he was performing under the double name actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with Rihanna. Ooh, ew. Not even Sam Manson is barred, according to Overwood, the author of the Six Pieces isn't real. Sam was an anagram for M. Madness. Purposely leaving hints for us, he claims. 6 Pieces with Lauren Rucci's book, People's Vastness. Also a request at the bottom. Next year, 2000, is a leap year, and Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Rootrees red-handed on Operation blah 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 blah. He specifically mentions not to volunteer if you ever drink Spirit Cola, but doesn't go into why. Okay. I feel like the main one that's gonna catch me is the Guy's Not Dead one. Excuse me. Guy's Not Dead. Conspiracy stems from the website that focuses on clues the Rootrees have supposedly hid all over the place. This includes the candy wrappers and print advertisements and television commercials. The story, according to the website, is that Guy Hudson was a terrible president and introduced multiple failed projects. Something needed to be done that would put the company immediately and instantly back in the favor of customers, so they killed him off and replaced him with a new president. This move immediately garnered sympathy. The company recovered disguise, which is why he stopped appearing in public. The people who run the site are asking for help. There's clues in the Pico magazine. Their page is scanned the magazine's cover, the interview with Sissy Sanchez about Guy, and some photos. You add them to your evidence. Ooh, I get some photos. There's Guy. Photos the first from the magazine issue of Pico T. Pico T does not label its individual photo. Both photos were instead under the shared label. Cecily has provided these photos by Roottree Company for her book. In the background of the photo, there's a Christmas tree. Yes, I see that. Oh, that one doesn't count? This photo is the first from the magazine interview with Sissy Sanchez. That guy looks a lot like Zach. We got new photos now. Oh, yay! It's the whole thing. You claim to have been... Yeah, I met him on New Year's Eve, actually, last night in 1978. Guy liked to throw big parties. I was just coming off the Changed Man and looking for my next project. When his wife learned who I was, she invited me to the party and cornered me to talk about a book. The first time anyone recognized me for my work. But then none of the stuff made him interesting was allowed to stay. Chop, chop, snip, snip. Anything that, even the slightest threat to guys in them, end up going zero. Stuff that made him interesting. Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I could boil him down to two traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming of the great Elias Roottree, and the second, he'd never be satisfied living with the life needed to be seen that way. He had his fortune and good looks, and he really liked to exploit that a lot to pick up women, but he couldn't let anyone else know, so it cost him a lot to cover up. He was James Bond, trying to convince people that he was Mr. Rogers. Maybe that's not the best metaphor. Roottree Legacy. Just submitted my first trap. He sent me this garbage book with Elias on the cover. The last time he and I met had switched out the orange suits for some green ones Elias wore. I got to do caviar. Guy knew that part of Elias' legacy was the 5-piece flavors. Roottree Brazil Factory. It's complicated. I had an out with my contract. Guy signed the contract with my lawyers. Interview continues on the next page. Yes, his family has very wisely put a stop to it. Mid-1981, months after I'd already moved on, he called me back and showed me a final draft. Do you know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? It had my name on it in big, shiny, embossed letters. Like all problems in his life, throwing money at me was an attempt to win me back. But It had half the page count. The narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good. Imported steak. He sent his mistress, Susie, something into the bathroom to proposition me. Poor girl, I remember her from our trips overseas. She was too good for him. Anyway, he died soon after, and that was the last that ever came of it. What can you tell us about the family? Any insights into the scandals? I actually haven't read it. I just skimmed the sections on Guy to see why people are suddenly calling me up to ask about the man. Roottree, Brazil, Australia, France, China, despite his best efforts. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robin. He and she definitely spent a few nights together. So, Robin. So we have Susie and Robin. So you know what? We'll highlight Robin. And we'll highlight Susie. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his... But I did. That's in God. Sam mentioned Guy's affairs and treats them like most people would logically think to treat them, like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me, though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. On paper and in public, it was a marriage like any other, but in reality, it was more of a mutual beneficial agreement. They both got what they wanted out of it. The same thing. Ooh. I'm assuming I only have to spell it out so you get it in writing for readers. Women. Patricia enjoyed the company of women, and the swinger scene made it more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and Guy. I found out later that if I had said yes, her next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. Guy, on the other hand, was seen in a traditional marriage, and at the same time could bet any woman that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Okay, so Patricia. Okay, so there's a couple things we can do. Roottree, Brazil. Fire search. Referred to as Roottree, Brazil is one of the companies created in the manufacturing. Brazil is the only region in which caviar flavored 5 pieces were a hit. The premium reason that the factory exists. Small town near Abalajos. Became the location chosen after newly elected local politician named Edison Suarez heard that they were planning on it. Since then, however, it's been operating relatively smoothly, except for 2 incidents. De Bardo, the second was unsuccessful strike. Factory was originally built and run. Translates to not run Roottree Brazil entirely. So what was this? Translates to maple fire. And they were attacked in a place of clear arson. The fire was brought under control after destroying about 2/3 of the production. Special did list this incident, few others. Okay, so what else can I look up from here? Also, one of the companies created in the manufacturing, according to history, Charles Martin, who owned a company in the manufacturing of licorice. You have to run manufacturing after the death of Martin. Martin's licorice, but most of his history is unrelated to Roottrees, however, 19. He used his own wealth, build a new factory, clean website in Australia. Commerce mentions American root. Very wealthy man, but also led to some costly cutting measures and increase the profits. Roottree Candy Company. Charles' vast fortune passed along to his daughter, Robin Martin. The private Australia, where she reportedly has her own exclusive retreat. She has no husband, and there's a widely circulated rumor somewhere in the mid-70s that she had a medical procedure to ensure she would never have children. You find a joke on a website called Edgy Jokes that implies she's quite promiscuous and has a punchline involving robin's eggs. For what it's worth, Martin seems to lean to the rumors in the 80s. She once showed up at a charity function with 3 very attractive men, each wearing a shirt that simply said satisfied partner on it. I wonder if that's her. And I wonder if let's see. Nope. Let's do Business Watch. Yeah. J. which combined her inheritance meaning content. The article does touch on the announcement of who took over the licorice division as well as who'll be in the Maple Candy Factory. The entire text seems to be dripping with content. Yeah, see, I think maybe she did. It's Robin Martin. I'm betting Robin goes in there. And Susie will probably go in there too, but I don't know who Susie is. I'm gonna have to end it here soon though, because I have to go out shopping for daughter's clothes. See, I'm wondering if in the picture, this picture, I'm wondering if that's Susie. Or if that's his wife. That looks like maybe it's Robin. But then that would be her dad, not her husband. So why would I need a picture of him? So there's 2 pictures of her. There's 2 pictures of that one. 2 pictures of that one. 2 pictures of that one. Okay, so there's a picture of a husband here. So then, wait. Robin Martin had no kids. Yeah. I feel like there's somebody here. Brazil, tells writing, corruption, politics, other 2 regions. Because I'm wondering if there's somebody else in Brazil. What was his name? What was the name of the one guy? Essence. He was manager at an automotive manufacturing plant for a major American car company. As mayor, he used his manufacturing background. Second. His wife Sonia was discreetly put in charge of television station. Chair-Rah. Vacuum was created. This is the last one I'm gonna look up. Actually, the last one I'm gonna look up is this. Flavinosaurus. Young Brazilian newscaster. Small section dedicated to him. It seems that young women and some men currently dating a supermodel named Ashley York. Many stories either seem to ignore her existence or get her out of the picture rather quickly. He's 18. His mother's name is Sonia. Also, it seems to translate, Flavio translates to golden haired. One website with a sign publicity photo of Flavio seems to confirm this. Hmm. 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 I wonder if that's it. I don't know what her work. Oh wait, she was a television director, mechanic, media mogul, news anchor, police officer, preacher, public speaker, travel agent, media mogul. Let's just say that. See if we can put her in here and see if it works. He's a news anchor. Yay, I did it! I found him. And I got the right pictures. Booyah!
Has Clark reached out to you? Well, let me give you a short history lesson about the last few months of my life. 3 different people contacted me, claiming that first that young man, the rapper. I ignored that one. He seemed dubious. But then I saw the news. I felt terrible. So I began helping the others. Because my doubts with Felix were so misfounded, I ended up putting too much faith in the second person that I went to the media prematurely. I admit my mistake, but the third person who contacted me also had a credible case. Before, the fact that the family silenced them doesn't seem to fill me with hope when it comes to Clark's intentions. But you're making progress based on the leads he gave you. It's really hard for me to get a read on him. I'll let you handle it. I've sent you the case I've been working on, and some company records I managed to track down. The records are quite dense, but hopefully they're useful. Good luck!
So that's not the right picture for her or the right job. Same thing goes for him and her. They don't have rapper. course Miracle would have a flare. Is Elizabeth Cravensworth. Oh, Susie. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in there. I will look at that later. But for right now, I need to go because we need to go grocery shopping. Oh. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.